And we're back here, second hour main event. Appreciate you joining us. Friday edition, folks. Yes, we're back to our 5-day-a-week schedule. Having some fun here on this Friday as well. Of course, our summer schedule is over here and getting into football season. We're going to talk some Kenny Dillingham talking this week with his press conference.
Hold on, you're saying our summer schedule's over? It's 116 today, Steve.
You know what the problem is? And we're going to complain about this here. We could still be on our summer schedule, but football has to report so early. When did you report? You reported like in August, didn't you?
No. See, but remember, we had 6 weeks of training camp. We're usually the third week in July.
Okay, because I seem to remember it being later all the time.
And we had 4 preseason games. Yeah. Sometimes we had 5.
That's right. Well, because Hall of Fame game. Oh, you guys, because you guys are the Cowboys.
Or an exhibition game overseas.
For some reason, I always thought it was like beginning of August is when it happened. Now it's like middle of July. They're like my kids' high school schedule out here for Queen Creek and Chandler and stuff like that. It starts middle of July.
Well,
but that's the reason why. That's why we came back. I mean, I was actually yesterday driving home with Ethan, and I was like, man, should have done one more week of Friday off and just started in August. That's because I got comfortable with the Fridays off as well. But we're back, folks. Appreciate you joining us live on YouTube. TME Media AZ. Join us on the YouTube chat. Text line 623-252-6670. I'm still getting the Tori's got to go texts as well from that person. That's pretty funny that continues out there. And then, of course, tag us TME Sports Show as well if you'd like to do that. I'm just perusing here Twitter. And we're Rattlers play this weekend, playoff in Vegas. Some interesting possible announcements coming with them and the quarterback situation to watch. So we're keeping our eyes on that. No email back yet, Dale. Like I said, we're not going to get one back during the show because they're practicing. So we'll get it. I'll get a response after this, even if it's you'll see. We'll have our lineups later today, type of a deal. But then I'm perusing through everything, getting updated here during that break, and the Ravens are out there at training camp and everything, and a fan snuck into the Ravens training camp and participated in the edge rusher drills in pads first of all, folks, it's obvious he's not a football player because I don't know, he's 5'8" or something like that, and everything. It is hilarious to watch this guy. But how did he get to that point? Unless it was either set up or they were like, just let him run a drill. But nobody's walking him off, But it's obvious he's not a professional.
There's not a big police presence out on the field
at the Ravens side of it and stuff like that. I just reposted that out there on SMAC 500 is where I retweeted that out there because I was on that page when I saw that. But it's pretty funny when fans, silly fans.
Yeah, you would think that if it was a contest or something, you'd have to sign a waiver.
But I mean, nobody's like rushing over to him or stopping him. I mean, which player's going? Who's that guy?
I'll block him.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those drills with the dummies.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny though, Dale. Like he's standing in front of everybody when it's his turn, and defensive linemen aren't small dudes.
He looks a little different.
Yeah, defensive edges aren't small guys, like this guy is as well. We gave you the news. Tony Romo is on leave until further notice from CBS right now. J.J. Watt's going to take his spot, which tells me, like I said, J.J. Watt's getting the opportunity to fill in and show his worth, which I think he's going to be great at it for the preseason. I have a feeling that, and then Tony Romo will probably be back for the regular season, unless it gets to the point where he has to do that thing where I have to go into rehab and, rehabilitate my image. I don't think it's that bad for Tony. Do you?
I don't think it's that bad either. I think it's going to be here's a preseason suspension.
Stop drinking and driving, first of all, folks.
Yeah. Hire somebody at $18 million a year. Take an Uber.
I'm going to look that up real quick here because you said 18 earlier. For some reason, I want to say it was 33 or something, but I could be confusing him. with the deal. But you're right. Yeah, you're right. 18 million. 10-year, $180 million contract extension. So.
Which was unheard of before Tom Brady.
2020, and then Tom Brady. Yeah. Tom Brady must have been the 30 a year time. That's why I was either confusing it with Tom Brady or I was thinking Tom Brady was a little bit higher than him. But yeah, 18 million for him as well. I just The salaries for these guys are ridiculous out there. Hey, Dale, since we're talking football, let's just stick with it here as well. Don't forget, guys, share us with your friends on YouTube. Like, subscribe to the page. As soon as we're done here live, we're live 8 to 10 a.m. every Monday through Friday on YouTube. We put it up on demand as well. So catch us later in the day. Free podcast systems as well. Don't forget, Real Matrix is up today at noon on the free podcasting systems and over at Rumble, where we have everything on demand at Rumble as well. Rumble.com/users/TME media is where you can find that over there. And then the free podcast systems for the Real Matrix as well out there. Kenny Dillingham talked this week, Dale. And this is dare I say this is a transition year for Arizona State in my eyes. They lost a lot of veterans. A lot of guys graduated. Several people left the program and transferred. Not a ton, but several did. They have a lot of young guys in here. Quarterback unknown situation right now going into the season and stuff like that. So a transition year for this team is how I'm looking at it. How are you viewing this year's Arizona State team?
Isn't almost every year a transition year at ASU?
But more so this year compared to last year is what I'm comparing it to.
Well, you're going into the season not sure who the quarterback's going to be yet. I saw where Kenny said he hopes to have the starter name by 8 to 9 days before the home opener.
That you should. Yeah.
Before the open. They open at home.
They open at home.
Yeah. Against Cleveland State or something?
Yeah, it's one of those small schools. Montana State or something ridiculous. Weber State, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head. But it's a small school.
Yeah.
It gets hard after that, Dale.
and so when you have an unanswered question.
Morgan State, sorry. September 5th, 7 p.m. Boy, am I going to get dialed up for that one. I look forward to getting home at midnight after the Morgan State, Arizona State battle that's going to happen.
I certainly hope that it's 115 degrees for you guys.
Storm's going to roll in.
It get delayed.
It's going to get delayed for lightning. So I'm rolling in the house at 2 a.m. instead. Thanks, Dale. But anyway, in all seriousness, just your thoughts on ASU?
Yeah, again, I don't have a whole lot of thoughts just yet other than, this is the first season in a couple of years where you're going in with you're unsure at quarterback. You didn't know last year at this time that injuries would happen to your starting quarterback and your wide receiver and all that. But I think that just in itself points out that it's going to be a transition year. It doesn't mean they don't have talent.
Yeah, they have talent.
That doesn't mean they can't have a successful season, but there's some unknowns.
Question marks. Yeah. That's just how I'm looking at it. Whereas down at Arizona, a little bit more stable, right? You're getting your fifth-year senior back. Fafita there is a quarterback. You're getting some of those receivers that were good, like Spivey back down there at Arizona. So there's more stability down there at Arizona coming back, less question marks down there. Other than the question mark of the coach down there, which, like I said, I just don't think he's going to lead you to any promised lands of any sorts from the coaching perspective. My humble opinion out there as well, type of a deal. But so what about the expectations? Kenny Dillingham spoke on those. Let's check into it. Dillingham on expectations. I threw it on Ethan. He's got to load it up here.
Picture would be like expectations, and not just when people equate expectations, they equate them to wins and losses, right? That's the outside version. It's like we showed up here and there weren't things on the walls. All the walls were white, right? That's everybody has the different philosophy, right? And it's now the expectation is did the walls get updated every year? Do they have our people on it? Are the updated leadership council guys on the wall? Are the people who had a 3.0 on the wall? That's the minimum expectation. Do we have a home field advantage? We expect to have that now. People voted us one of the top, I think 3 to 4 or whatever home fields in our league. That's an expectation now. We expect to play at home, play good football. We've won a lot of home games in the last 2 years. We expect that now. People expect us to play good football. Right? Not just be in games. They expect us to win games. That's a good thing. If you achieve win expectations, you're going to do that once every probably 3 years. If you have real expectations, you're not going to achieve the expectation of the fan base every year. You should almost let unfortunately, you're going to have way more letdowns than you do hit expectations because that's why they're fans, right? That's what you should have. So I would say, like, expectations, like everything in the organization, what me and my expectation for Graham and for the president, their expectation in me. Everybody has a level of expectation that's higher throughout the entire organization, leading into the city, into the valley, into the fan base. Like, you guys have an expectation. I'm going to talk to you guys after practice almost every day. What if I stopped? Like, the expectations are now here. Like, it's just here.
One thing about Kenny, I can't tell if I love or not. He's just real. Nobody else is going to talk like that. And he's not, okay, first of all, he's not wrong. But you hear nobody else talk like that. That's all I can say on that.
No, you don't hear any other college head coach.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's going to fail on fans' expectation levels more so than he's going to fulfill them. That's how it goes in sports. But he's the only one that's going to tell you that. Your thoughts on that? That's all I get away from it is he ain't wrong. He's real about it. And I just don't know if that's good or bad, Dale. I just don't know if it's good or bad that he just went through that. Well, because how many fans are going, oh, he's setting us up for failure right there.
Well, I'm sitting there looking at it going, okay, last year I thought the expectations were a little unrealistic because you're coming off the near loss to Texas and if things would have bounced, not remembering that the ball that bounced your way throughout the season to get to where you were. Mm-hmm. Last year, the expectation were high. Now, I think...
Well, last year, the expectation level was at the level where if you didn't meet it, it was the only place to be was a disappointment.
But they were because they're so high.
Because they were so high.
Right.
This year, they're more middle. If you underperform this year, you're having a bad season. Last year, they underperformed and still had a good season. See what I'm saying? This year, the expectation, the bar's down. If you don't hit the expectation level this year, folks, we're talking about a 3-win season. 4-win season.
And
that's the difference between last year and this year in the expectation side, in my opinion.
And I do like me some Kenny Dillingham. I like some coaches on that staff, and I'm cheering for him. But gosh, doesn't it, especially as a longtime ASU watcher and booster and spending money and whatever.
Who are you talking about?
You. Doesn't it seem
the family
that at ASU, you'll get this flash in the pan?
Yes.
I mean, Bobby Hurley, early in his tenure, there was talk about, well, we don't want to lose him. Oh,
Well, he was. I know you don't believe it, but he was getting to the tournament every year. Dayton. But he was getting there.
You ASU fans were afraid of losing him to a bigger school.
Yes.
And then after another year or so, then it became
please take him.
Painfully aware you're hoping somebody would take him. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen to Kenny Dillingham. That they had that flash in the pan. They make the college football playoff. They're the 4 seed. Mm-hmm. Almost had Texas beat in Austin.
Dale, if you look at the way this format's gone these last 2 years, it's hard to make it to the college football playoffs. And your expectation can't be to get there every year. Like, that's Ohio State's expectations, and they're not going to do that every year, if you catch my drift. That's why they want to expand it to 12, folks, and 24. And so then they can make it every year type of a situation.
Well, it is 12.
We talk all the time. Oh, it is 12 now. It is 12 now. But they were a 4 seed, right? That's what I'm getting at. You're not always a 4 seed,
right? When
you get into it. So Ohio State isn't always going to be a 4 seed. They'll get in as an 8, 6 seed or 7 seed a couple of years coming up. Sorry, I said that backwards. I was thinking it was still the 4. But my other thought process here was, we talk about it all the time. The thing that eludes Arizona State and Arizona every time, we have yet to have it, is sustained success. Yes. It's the hardest thing to do in sports, folks, especially when you have a lot of turnover. And now, right, with NIL, you have a lot of turnover. And so it's even harder to sustain that success. But that's where I come back to and go, they've won, 15 games over 2 years? Never been done at Arizona State before. So everybody has this expectation because of that one year where they were a 4 seed, a play away, a bad call, and then a cover 0, and you're out of the playoffs. Cover 0 defense. Why you run a cover 0 at the end of a game, I'll never understand when you have the lead. Oh, I just got angry again. Breathe, Steve. You're that close to it. Your expectation to get there again is unrealistic. Now, could it happen? Yes, but it's unrealistic. But to be disappointed in 9-win seasons at Arizona State, if you put another 9-win season together this year, it's 3 in a row. We don't see that kind of success. But that's where that college football playoff screws everything up. Everybody goes, if you don't make the playoffs, you're no good. Who are we, Nebraska? We're Nebraska. We don't win 9 games a year. Well, yeah, you're right. You're going to win six the next 10, 20, 30 years of your life, with that attitude. He's right on the expectations, the way he talks. You hear nobody else say about it. And this year, I'm just going into the season going, let's see what happens. Last year, with all the veterans coming back and everything, right, you had to pay attention. You thought they would have a good season because, hey, all these guys just played in that game, and they're all back.
Yeah.
Sam Levitt's back.
Yeah.
And Sam Levitt decided to pick up his ball and go home because he didn't get his way.
Your receiver was back. Yeah.
And look what they did with your best receiver injured the second half of the year. Sam Levitt injured and deciding to take his ball and go home and cry like a little baby, on his way out of town. All of that happened, and you still ended up where you ended up at. Still a good year, but because of the previous year, it's not.
Right.
But then this year, right, you got all the young guys. So last year we were going to the season with all these veterans. Kenny Dillingham, I don't remember exactly what week it was, but at some point during that season, probably beginning, middle part of the season, you had to go back and say, hey, we left a lot of stuff to the veterans on this program. And now we as coaches have had to go in and take the reins back because it wasn't working out. Penalties, sloppiness out there was creeped into the program. And they fixed it halfway through this season. You don't see that a lot in the year.
No,
and he admitted it. He admitted it publicly that he did it. This year, a lot of young guys. Last year, young guys didn't get to play that much because you had big name guys in front of them that were coming back. Starters, 2 deep last year. Nobody transferred off the ASU program in the 2 deep, meaning your starter and your backup was back unless they graduated last year.
Right.
That's not the case this year. So Kenny was asked about the young guys, what the plan is for them. Dale, I like this. Here he is, Kenny on the young guys.
Yeah, there's some young guys who are going to play. They're going to play. They're competing to be starters in the 2 deep. Definitely going to play special teams, especially with the new redshirt rule. We've been kind of abiding by the new redshirt rule since I got here because I always believed it goes back to the rules changing. That's one that I believe they would never be able to prevent people from playing the 5th year, like the redshirt rule. So we've really never redshirted people for that reason because I didn't think it would survive 5 years. So that come to fruition. So continuing on that philosophy, but I think there's a bunch of young guys that have a real chance to play for us this year, more than we've had in the past. I think this will be our most plug and play freshman that we've had.
Looks like we have a young guy year coming up here, which is good. That worries you a little bit as well, Dale,
yes,
doesn't it?
Does. Yeah, because you usually young and inexperienced is a moniker for mistakes.
Yeah, and think about this schedule. You're going to Texas A&M, not an easy place to play. Then you're going straight to London against Kansas, but it's at London.
Right.
Your first 2 away games are A&M and London. And you have a bunch of young guys that you're looking to play on this team. As a young guy, that worries me a little bit because wide-eyed, right?
Well,
lights getting bright pretty quick here this season, Dale.
And I think you'll be shocked. ASU fans will be shocked just by the sheer enormity of the Texas A&M home crowd.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And they're loud and they're exuberant.
I know you used to go there and play, but have you been there recently?
Not since I did a game there probably 4 years ago.
Okay. So you've seen the way the crowd is now.
Yeah. Over 100,000 people.
And they get riled up Friday night, folks. Friday afternoon. They have to learn all their cheers on Friday afternoon for some reason.
No, Friday at midnight.
That was a midnight, yeah.
Are you gonna go? You should go to that A&M game. Go to the Yale practice and learn how to gig 'em Aggies.
Why would I? I have no interest in that whatsoever.
Just take it all in. Take Ethan and let him experience
that is true.
a real school.
Since we're not able to make the London trip this year, yeah, that's true. We could go to A&M. I mean, that's gonna be a tough game, man.
Yeah,
that crowd. But that's what I'm getting at. Young guys. I'll play the young guys. I'm actually a big fan of playing the young guys. Like you said, college doesn't do what the pros do, right? Where you get the young guys to save money, you put them on special teams. They're on the roster because when you say payroll, at college, you can have guys on there that could do special teams, but you don't put them out there. You just have them stand on the sideline. Get them into a game. Let them see the speed of it, type of a deal. Hit them. That's where special teams can get you set up on it and things to that. So I'm excited to see the young guys this year because that's your foundation now, again, moving forward. One reason. Two, you have a better chance of keeping a guy from going into the transfer portal if you play him than if they sit on the bench, right? From that perspective. And then three, I just think young guys should be integrated with the starters and everything in case injuries creep in again this year, which hopefully they can keep out of. But it is worrisome with their schedule that they have coming up, especially beginning of the season, because A&M and London are different.
So they're going to fly to College Station.
And they're leaving right from there to London.
Leaving from there.
Yeah, why come all the way back just to go all the way back?
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, but they're going to be in London for a whole week.
Yeah, that's the thing. And young kids, especially young college kids, how many of them have been overseas, been to London?
Yeah, not many.
Teas and crumpets. I'm sure they're going to have, visits they're going to have to go see.
Tap water that's lukewarm, beer.
People without teeth.
Lukewarm beer.
No dentists.
Wow. Why do you always have to go
bring
to
your own toothpaste? Bring your own toothpaste.
Wow. Small hotel rooms.
I'm so stupid. Yeah, no AZ. I'm so stupid with these stupid stereotypes I throw out there.
Yes.
I'm so done with them. But yeah, so I don't know. That's a little bit of Kenny Dillingham that I took from his press conference this week. Now let's get it rolling, boys. Get it going. I'm excited for this season. I'm not expecting a lot at the beginning of the season. They're going to beat Morgan State. They better look good during Morgan State because your next game is A&M. That's your warm-up game to get everything in sync and rolling before you go to College Station. I'm not expecting it. Can they win it in College Station? They can. Texas A&M is not that better of a team than Arizona State's going to be.
What drugs are you smoking?
They can beat Texas A&M just because it's the SEC. The thing is, though, you're going to have to play almost a perfect game to beat them. And that's the question. Texas A&M had a lot of changes this offseason, too. And what does Texas A&M always do, Dale? They always lose the game they shouldn't lose.
No, they lose a game late that they shouldn't lose, not early.
They've done it early a few times.
I'll give you 14 points.
No,
right
I'm not
now.
taking them.
And lunch.
I have a bad feeling about that game. I'm just saying, Dale, that game I'm optimistic about. They should go to London and beat Kansas. But you have a big question mark with the London part of it. The experience. You wake up with a tummy ache, right? Remember that conversation? Because you drank some water. You had some runny eggs over there or something.
Yeah.
They don't cook food right over there, folks. No spices. Everything's bland. So your stomachs are going to be all upset when you wake up. Maybe their hotel's not close to the stadium. Bringing back that nonsense a couple of years ago.
Oh, that Mississippi State or something?
Yes, remember that? Was that last year or the year before?
Yeah. Now you said that.
They had to stay an hour away from the stadium. All right, then you come back, and then you got Baylor right off the bat, then Hawaii, both home games there, and then you got Texas Tech. I'm not saying they could possibly be 1-2 to start the season. Doesn't mean they're out of it. It means they're out of the national championship, but you have to win the Big 12 and not lose another game. So you could play yourself into not being able to lose another game in the season early on. So I'm optimistic about it, though. Yeah. They should be able to beat Kansas, folks. I mean,
We'll see.
Jayhawks or Sun Devil. I mean, come on.
Come on now.
Come on. If you're
Rock,
London,
Chalk, Jayhawk.
their mascot, their bird mascot has shoes. High heel shoes, no less.
No.
What in the world? What kind of bird wears shoes? They can fly.
Hey.
Why do they have sexy high-heeled shoes on top of it?
ASU can beat Kansas in basketball. It can't beat it in baseball, in football.
Here comes Dale's negativity coming up here. Really quick, Cardinals camp. 3 things are becoming a trend here. They play next Thursday. Of course, we'll pay attention to practices this weekend. Carson Beck ran a beautiful 2-minute drill yesterday, which, by the way, is the hardest thing to run in football. Because of the condensed time, all the things you have to do. Carson Beck's accuracy and things has struggled a little bit in this camp. But I'm telling you, guys, he's got a presence. I'm not saying you start the season with him, but if you're 1 in whatever, 3 in whatever, 3 in 15, 3 in 12 or whatever, Carson Beck's got to get some playing time this year to see what you got with him going into next season. And he's just got a presence, man. I'm not saying he's going to turn into where he's a Hall of Famer or anything to that effect. I'm not saying that's coming up, anything. But I want to see him in a regular season. I'm excited about it. And it's only because if you're terrible with the other 2 guys out there. Algiers getting most of the carries at running back to start the season. Obviously, James Conner coming off the injury. Trey Benson not getting a ton of action. I think he's going to get cut here coming up. But Algier, it's going to be Algier and Love, I think, are going to be your 1-2 punch this year to start the season, is what I'm guessing is going to happen. I thought that before training camp. So far in training camp, we're seeing that as well.
And don't forget James Conner for a little bit.
But why rush Conner back is what I'm getting at. Algier and Love get this 1-2 punch to start the season. Let James Conner get healthy. Use him occasionally if he's available to use him occasionally. Save him toward the end of the season where you get that power and punch, when he's fully healthy as the season goes on. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing to do for the Cardinals. I think we should work on that. I told Coach yesterday that's what he should do. Yeah.
Well, was he over to the house for tea and crumpets?
Well, of course. I went and visited him. That's a long way from Wigwam to my house. I went and visited him. Yeah. I don't want him getting on the freeway. Then he's going to get pulled over for speeding or something. And then it's going to come out. He's coming to visit me. And then people are going to be like, oh, that McCollum guy screwing up the Cardinals again.
Your HOA is going to be saying, what all the media doing here?
Well, they already do that when I pull in. What'd McCollum do this time?
Wow.
So that's what's happening around camp. People are noticing Marv dropping passes. I think Wilson is going to solidify the one receiver this year. I just think he's going to get it. I think they're going to favor him going into the season, which I think is a great thing to do because maybe that opens up Marv a little bit more and takes pressure off of him on the backside. Some of the young receivers are working well and things. And then we just got to see the left side of the line. I'm not worried about as long as they can stay healthy. Meaning Paris Johnson and I just forgot his name again. Samawalo. Well, I just forgot his name. But the other left guy that they just signed this year, got him into camp with them. Siamulu, thank you. Gosh, I forgot it yesterday too, man. I don't know. I got to get that into my brain here.
I don't know.
The left side of the line, I think, is solidified. Right side's a question mark. But, we'll see how that side goes moving forward. But that's what's happening around Cardinals camp here. Open practices this weekend. I know Sunday's a season ticket holder day. So I think you have to be a season ticket holder. That's the day where they're like, you can have 2, even though you buy a lot of tickets from us. Pick your favorite one and bring them on Sunday.
You and Ethan going?
Thanks, Cardinals.
Are you and Autumn going out?
I haven't responded. Now I'm gonna if we go, I'm gonna respond to it, and they're gonna be like, "Sorry, you're late. Can't come now.
Sold out.
Yeah, you can't come now.
Can't fit any more people in the Ring of Honor or whatever."
And I'll be like, "Thanks. You did me a favor. Actually, you do me a favor. Just even if you're not sold out, just respond with it sold out, so I don't have to go. Practices are so ridiculous, man." They're the worst things on the planet. When we come back, let's get into it. Major League Baseball sets you up with the Cleveland Guardians this weekend for your Arizona Diamondbacks.
Big series, Steve, right here. Separate.
You got to keep them separated. Maybe we're going to break. And we're back here. Main event here on this Friday. Ooh, hopefully this Friday edition's going well so far.
What do you think, Steve? Are you optimistic?
Robert says, "Do not let your brother be your agent." Words to live by. Responding to Sam Levitt there with that conversation as well. Robert says ASU should reach out to the Carvana guy. Doesn't he live here? Yeah. I mean, it started here. It's based out of here. I don't know if they actually live here still. It's the guy that started Drive Time and his son and stuff like that for sponsorship. I agree, but they might not be sports fans. I don't know. Autumn says, Robert, I don't even trust my brother to be my brother, let alone an agent out there, right? And I'm staying out of that. I'm staying out of that battle right there. Staying out of that one. So join us on our YouTube chat as well. Dale, trade deadline's Monday, August 3rd.
And we talked enough and talked sense into ourselves to realize not much is going to happen.
Yeah, brace yourselves here. For two reasons. The main reason, there's not a lot of guys available this year like you thought there would be. There's a lot of teams still in the chase coming up here. The second reason is it's going to be really expensive to get the guys you want.
And they're not going into the tax apron.
You're not. So you're going to have to trade guys in order to bring guys back in. Now, you would trade lower tier, high prospects and things like that, unload salary from that perspective to bring somebody in. Doesn't mean a move's not going to happen, but don't have any expectations. And it was signaled that was going to be that way because Hazen a week or so ago said, well, don't forget, we're getting all these guys back.
No.
So I'm not expecting a lot to happen. So my question is, Dale, now obviously we're starting to see a few trades. You'll see more ramp up over the weekend as well coming our way. Mets unloaded a couple guys yesterday, I believe it was.
Yep.
I know that I've heard that the Diamondbacks have talked to the Giants, right? That's what Bruce Cooper wanted on Tuesday, was to get a rise over here and things to that effect. So I know there's making calls, calling around. Diamondbacks, if they make a move, I won't be surprised if it's not till Monday late. And that's because another team doesn't get an offer that they want.
Right.
They have to kind of settle, if you let me put it that way, from that side. So when we come back on Monday, will we have at least even if it's a small trade for the Diamondbacks, Dale?
I could see a small trade. Again, I think that they're also – I think he's working the phones, meanwhile monitoring his own team, talk about Mike Casey.
Yes.
I mean, if they win 2 or 3 from Cleveland – I think it's only gonna bolster you a little bit. Say, hey, let's take a chance because now we're firmly entrenched in the second spot.
If they make a trade before we come back on Monday, trade deadline's what is it? 1 p.m. our time on Monday, 3 p.m.
It's after
something
the
like
show.
That. Yeah. I'll say this: if the Diamondbacks make a trade this weekend, it's going to be for like just another arm in the bullpen or something like that. It's going to be like a blip on the radar type of it pops up and then goes away. Type of a move to help out the bullpen or something like that. There's not going to be a big bat that they're going to be able to go get. There's not going to be a big bat first baseman they're going to be able to go get. I don't think
the San Diego closer.
You're not getting Mac Miller. Please, though, that'd be my dream. I'll buy season tickets. I'll contribute. I'll buy season tickets. Upper level corner. However much those cost.
You'll pay the luxury tax?
No. That gets millions quickly. So if the Diamondbacks do something over the weekend, it's going to be something like that. Just picking up an arm for cheap or something to that. If they are going to do a surprise move, meaning they find a big bat, they make a big move, it's going to be Monday afternoon close to the deadline if they're going to do something like that. And in order for them to do that, again, they're going to have to trade some of their roster because you're going to have to give up salary to take salary on because they're not going into that apron.
Right.
And they're right up against it if you don't know. And those types of deals take longer to put together than just, hey, give us that guy and we give you these 4 prospects or whatever. Anytime you have to deal with salary, it takes longer to put together. That's why it would be a late deal. But I'm not expecting a ton from the Diamondbacks. I expect them to stay pat for the most part. And I expect them, and partly because even if they only win 1 out of 3 here in Cleveland, they're still in this playoff hunt.
Yeah.
Even if they get swept by Cleveland, they're still in the hunt. They're still going to be in the playoff circle, and you're getting guys back here shortly that should improve you moving forward, and that's why I'm not expecting anything from the Diamondbacks. And I do expect Skubal to be a Dodger by Monday afternoon.
Do you really?
Yeah. I wish the Yankees would step up, man. Get back to the Yankees, and what they do and stuff like that. That'd be fun to see. I'd like to see that happen again.
I'd like them to start, putting the Dodgers in their place.
Because people will go, what about the Mets and the Phillies? I just don't like those two teams. So I'd rather. I'm not a Yankees hater, and I'm not a Yankees liker. I don't love them. I watch a lot of their games because a lot of their games start at 4 p.m. and I have Major League Baseball Network, and I just happen to catch them, because they're fun to watch.
Well, you're up from your nap, and
well, they're also right, and they also play teams generally that are also good for the most part, so it's just easy to watch them, type of a deal. Now the Blue Jays are going to unload a bunch of guys because they're sucking this year. They're all going to be too expensive to bring in. You're going to have to trade with the Giants. Maybe get somebody from the Rockies. I don't know. Jake McCarthy's bat, maybe. That's sarcasm. Don't bring McCarthy back because then Torrey will just sit him on the bench and not give him at bat.
No, that he'll start both McCarthy and Pavin Smith.
Because keep in mind, the plan is to get Corbin Burns back in September from his setback from his deal, right? Jay Damerson's scheduled to come back at some point here. J Mart will be back here shortly as well. Then you got Nelson and Sirocco should be back sooner than later for those two guys, right? Lourdes Gurriel should be back here shortly as well. Jordan Lawler and his hamstring. If he can stay healthy, he's coming back. Tommy Troy, after taking that ball, what was that, a month or so ago now?
No,
or
not
3
a
weeks
month.
ago?
Yeah.
He'll be back here soon. That's some pretty good guys to add to your roster coming back.
Right.
And that's why now you can, I hope it doesn't happen, but you can get Zach Gallen back. AJ Puck, question mark as well. But technically, Zach Gallen could come back. I don't think he's going to, but technically, Zach Gallen can come back. That's why you're not going to see a lot of movement. So for those of you saying we need all these guys and things for the Diamondbacks, it just ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless they can get a deal on them. But keep that in mind also. If they get somebody that commands a salary, they're going to have to unload salary, which means you're losing some guys. You could lose a Tommy Troy, a Jordan Lawler, to dump some salary in order to, and
Now,
young
are
guys
those
in order
guys
to get
making
that.
any money?
But it's also the youngness of them. If you're a team, unload like the Giants with Ariz, right? You're not going to unload him. You want a major league guy, but you'll take a younger guy, lower salary with Jordan Lawler or Tommy Troy, type of a situation. You'd look at that. Oh my God, just imagine the wind at Jordan Lawler's back all the time there in San Francisco. So there you go. Trade deadline coming up on Monday. Pay attention to that. We're starting to see some small moves happen. And then throw up the NL wild card for me, if you will, Ethan. This is the graphic. Obviously, Diamondbacks didn't play yesterday out there, but they're still in that second spot. They are tied with the Phillies here. They have the tiebreaker right now. Going into this weekend's games, San Diego Padres, I'm telling you, Padres did lose yesterday. They had won 5 in a row until that point. To me, Pirates, Marlins, Nationals, Cardinals, I don't think they're going to be a threat. If you continue to play well and win series like the Diamondbacks are doing, I don't think you're going to have to contend with those teams moving forward. I think they're going to slide and kind of stay around 500. So if you can stay 4 or 5 games above 500, you'll keep a big distance, 2 or 3 games between you and those guys. The threats are the Phillies and the Padres moving forward is the real reason you need to win. Because even then, folks, if you think about it, if everybody else slides down, well, the Phillies and the Padres can pass you, and then you're out of the playoffs. So you're basically in playoff mode now after this, with this trade deadline coming up, and you're playing a team this weekend in the Cleveland Guardians, Dale. That isn't a bad team. They're currently in the 3rd place spot in their wild card as well for them. They're in the AL, so they're fighting for it. They're 56 and 54. So you're playing a team that, all intensive records, are even with you. They're also 28 and 40, by the way, with teams above 500. Diamondbacks are 22-37.
All right, so something's going to give.
Something's got to give tonight in the cleave, as I like to call it. Some people call it the mistake by the lake. I call it the cleave.
You call it the cleave. Don't know if I've ever heard that before.
I know. I made it up one time.
Yeah. Oh, you did.
I did when I was there. I spent a lot of time in the cleave. I don't think it's the mistake by the lake.
It was back in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, remember that was when the lake would catch on fire.
Oh.
How does water catch on fire? Well, Cleveland figured it out.
Yes, they did. So much sewage in there. By the way, Jake McCarthy is hitting almost 300.
Oh, dude, he's doing good. He's got some at bats there, and he plays every day. He's been up there, and they announced a week or so ago him and like 6 other players were on the trade block. Yeah. No, I know, but I'm just saying, Torre will go back to the whole old thing of, we're not going to give you at-bats. Get out of here. You're hitting too well. We can't have that on this squad. We need to go 3 for 27 in runners in scoring position in a game.
How about McCarthy? He's hitting 293, and then I'm looking at Machado.
Oh, he fell below 300. Oh,
Yeah.
did he? Oh, he was above 300 for a while.
And Manny Machado's batting 216.
Machado's getting better. He's coming out of his slump.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to do that for another 6 weeks.
When you're making $30 million a year, you can't go on a 3-month slump in hitting like Machado did.
Right.
But he is breaking out of it a little bit. Big weekend coming up here as well. Dale, it starts today here in Cleveland as well. Starting lineup for this weekend. This is what kind of dashes your spirits a little bit going into
You're talking about
these
pitchers.
games. The pitchers.
Yeah.
You're sitting there going, big series, team equal to you. You got to put it up here. You got to beat these guys. And even though they're in the AL, you got to do it to kind of help you out and get some distance. And these guys have pitched well, but they get out of the inning in 4th or 5th inning. It stretches the bullpen and stuff to that effect. But Mitch Bratt's on the mound today at 4:10 p.m. for your Diamondbacks.
Mitch Bratt.
Cleveland's favored in this game tonight, by the way, at least according to the odds books out there as well. Then Saturday morning, you're going to get up and they play, Saturday afternoon. They play at 4:15 tomorrow as well. Yeah, then you get Cole Drake out there on the mound. It's not that I think they're going to pitch bad. We're getting to the point where people have enough film of them that it could be coming soon. But even if they pitch well, again, they're not going 6, 7, 8 innings in the game. So you're going to stretch that bullpen out, who is already tired. Now you got a break on Wednesday's game with Erod going 8 innings. You only had Brandon Garcia go in to close it out. And then an off day yesterday. So they did get a break out there. But you're going to run up against that again. And then Sunday, right? Sunday morning, 10:40 a.m. is when Merrill Kelly gets on the mound for your Arizona Diamondbacks. It's just
Win 2 out of 3. Figure out a way to win 2 out of 3.
win series, man, and you're in the playoffs. From this point on, you win 2 out of 3, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you do that, most series, majority of them, you're in the playoffs. Period. End of story. You're not chasing anybody right now. But you can't afford a sweep or a bunch of 1 out of 3 types of series. A couple of them, mistakes can happen, depending what happened. But make no mistake about it. They are a playoff team. Now I think the standard's up a little bit, Dale. They are a playoff team today. So you just got to go win 2 out of 3. Majority of the series, and you're in the playoff. You're not chasing anybody. You don't have the pressure of, we got to sweep these guys. We got to sweep these guys. That pressure's gone. Now, can they do it is the next question that you got, in my eyes, Dale. And we need Sirocco back, because these young kids are just...
It is kind of scary.
It's going to end sometime coming up here. You got Cleveland this weekend, then you got the Padres at home for 4. You're going right into another series of a team chasing you now, right? Coming up. Then you go to the Dodgers. Then you got the Dodgers at home the next weekend.
That's a sweep.
Then you got the Rockies at home for 3 after that. So division foes.
They'll probably lose 2 out of 3 there.
Hey, you sweep the Dodgers and you dominate the Padres, you can lose 3 to the Rockies, and it won't affect you at all. But then you got at Braves, at Red Sox after that. Then you got Reds, Cubs, and then add Giants after that. Not a terrible schedule, other than the Dodgers. Not a terrible schedule.
Right.
But if you're winning these series and being competitive in these series, you're set. You're good. You're good. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine, Dale.
Well, you know that the Padres are going to start becoming desperate.
Well, they're playing better now.
Yeah.
They won 5 in a row before they lost yesterday. Not everybody's going to – it's hard to win 13 in a row. You know. Here's the last thing I want to talk about. Well, anything else on the Diamondbacks?
Not on the Diamondbacks, but I did. You go ahead with yours. I do want to bring up one other thing.
No, you go ahead. And mine's just nonsense. I'm questioning
life
ESPN more than usual today.
I saw an article here written on Brad Sesmat's website about Saguaro High School.
AZ Sports 360. I did not read it. I saw it was published yesterday. I clicked on it. It's in one of my tabs loaded up, but I did not get to it. Specifically about Saguaro and their leadership.
Yeah, their leadership.
They have a leadership council, folks, Dale. They have a leadership council. And how many bad things have happened there since Jason Mons left?
Jason Mons left, and the thing has just been really, really bad.
Can I give Saguaro? I know you're an integral part of it and stuff, but can you send a note to Saguaro's leadership committee for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody resign and find new people because you're terrible.
Well,
you're terrible at what you do.
Some of them aren't getting resigned; they're getting fired.
Well, they're getting fired.
They're hiring athletic directors that are sending images to middle school kids. They're hiring a principal who's doing this and doing
complaining about music being played and writing the lyrics down and sending them off.
It's horrible decision after horrible decision. As of right now, they have 33 guys on their football team.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're fielding that many right now.
And 10 of those are going to be freshmen who don't go to their first class till August. And so
and they were not allowed to move down.
No,
they were kept in 5 and 6. Well,
and I understand there's a lot of people who are upset with Saguaro for all the nonsense for over all the years, and they're 4A, but they were actually 7A talent and all that. But you couldn't have screwed if you said, you know what, let's make the most horrendous decisions that we can make for about 5 years.
Yes, which is what Saguaro's done.
They've done worse than that.
Yeah, exactly. It is shocking me.
Yeah.
The amount of bad decisions just stacked on top of each other that they've done. Just even if they weren't a legacy team with what they've done with less, even if they were just a regular school out there, Joe Schmo school that's won nothing, you would sit back and go, "What the hell's wrong with you guys?
How could you hire this guy? How could you hire that guy?"
And then you add the success they've had, the right decisions they made for a ton of years, and you add that into it, it makes it look even worse.
Yes.
But here's the thing that I look at it, though, is, and I talk about this a lot, is you're dealing with high school kids here. You're failing. Saguaro High School, and I'm going to say Scottsdale Unified because that's what they're part of, they're failing the kids with these decisions. If this was a professional franchise or a college franchise, you're going to sit back and go, you guys are idiots for doing that. It's even worse because now you're messing with high school kids.
Yes.
And that's what's disturbing to me the most with what they do over there.
It's shocking.
Does he actually go into, I know it's not Minter, who wrote, Sorensen wrote that article, I believe, right, on that page.
Yes.
Does he go into, like, the bad decisions in the leadership group and stuff like that?
All about leadership. And
you can't call yourself a leadership committee and then not provide.
He actually went so far as to compare it to the 1989 SMU Mustangs.
Did he really?
Really?
Oh, I wish I would have read it then. Because I would have let the show with that.
Punch to the stomach.
What? No. How's the comparison? Because that was just under the table money to get players to go there.
Because they're coming back from the death penalty, and evidently there were 89 players on that SMU team. 73 were freshmen, and
Okay.
38 had never played
right.
a single
So
down.
I can understand. I was thinking he was comparing it to SMU
No.
because of the leadership and the bad decisions from them. Okay, from the roster perspective, okay, I could see that.
Right.
Because I'm like, SMU's leadership was completely different than what's happening at Saguaro, and they're failing the kids there. Saguaro Leadership Committee in Scottsdale, you're failing the high school kids, and that's your job. You go into those roles to mentor kids and make them good human beings when they graduate. And you're doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Forget about the football program. If that's happening in the football program, let me put it this way. I say this about Dr. Crow all the time. If this is happening in the football program, what's happening elsewhere around that school?
Well, that's the thing. They in baseball they won the state championship. In
Yep.
basketball they went to the semifinals or
Yeah.
something like that. But and the thing that's interesting to me, and I don't know how you figure this out, but obviously there's a lot of bad blood about Saguaro and the transfers over the years.
They're going
and
to
the
they're going to take a hit
championships.
on the football side because of that.
Yes. And
People are going to take out their revenge now while they're down.
but you're not really taking it out on Saguaro. You're taking it out on 30 kids who.
Which I firmly believe they weren't moved down because
Yes.
people up there were like, nope, this
Suck
is now the time where they have to suffer.
Yeah.
And we'll let them suffer before we move them down to where they should be. That's what's happening. I firmly believe that.
Go ahead and suck it. and
Struggle with all of this. We don't care.
They're not going to have a freshman team. They're not going to have a JV team.
Think about the SCA Saguaro matchup that could happen in 2A when they shrink that low with their team.
Well, Saguaro, I mean, SCA might be 4A in a year or two.
I talked to Coach Sheehan, by the way. He's going to come on again this year with us.
Oh, yeah.
So looking forward. Well, he better. We've got him 3 championships. He didn't win any before he started coming on here. That's all I'm going to say.
That is true.
That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I got it. Like I said, I got it loaded up here. I meant to read it last night, and then I closed the laptop and forgot about it. But I get depressed with those types of stories because I just sit back and I go, it's like that AD issue that I saw last year at a school in the East Valley. I won't name the school again.
Yeah.
It's just like you sit back and you go, I get it. It's high pressure. It's high school sports. It's high pressure. Your job's on the line now. It used to be an AD can go and just do whatever and survive for 100 years. It ain't like that anymore, right? New administration comes in, you get blown out because they want their own people in there. Stuff to that effect.
And what is so hard about just hiring decent people?
That's what I'm getting at. It's gone sideways, and at a high school level, have the high pressure, have all that. I understand. I'm not saying that needs to disappear and just have fun. Have the high pressure. But you're questionable people that aren't protecting the kids anymore. And that's where, look what's happening at Centennial. That had nothing to do with the sports programs.
Right.
But for the love of God, how does that even happen? To where now you're having investigations on was there cover-ups, and it looks like there's a cover-up. Protect the friggin' kids, man.
Yes.
They're 16, 17, 18 years old. And that side of it's creeping. We saw it on the media side. That's why the AIA has all these rules now on credentials and passing background checks, because we saw questionable people. I'm being nice by calling them questionable, creeping into the media side of it and stuff. And so they had to get those guys out of it and things. Protect the kids, man. We're going into the new high school year. Protect the kids, folks.
Yeah. And the new school camera and the school calendar.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 116 degrees for the next 3
I did see
days.
Richard Orbert's story on how teams are dealing with the heat. Because, all these teams are practicing when it's 112, 150. Now, they're doing early mornings.
Yeah.
Or they're doing late at night, late at night, but sun's down type of night things. But, that's something you got to – Dale, we and I were in high school, I know I'm 15 years behind you or whatever. Man, they didn't care. Let's go. Get out there. I was thinking about your water bottle story where you went over and drank that other kid's water bottle.
No, I knew I was going to run. I took his Gatorade.
That's what it was. And that kid went over to to get his drink, and he's like, "Who drank my drink?" Yeah, Ethan just said Queen Creek's practicing early morning to beat that heat and stuff. But Robert says D-backs are close to the Jacks threshold. Not sure if the team's good enough to deal what the Diamondbacks consider top prospects. And that's the other side. What the Diamondbacks think are top prospects, do other people think they're top prospects, right? He said, and then Robert said, somebody may take Gallen since he's on an expiring contract. Ooh, do that. I'll be all right with that. Get a bag of balls for him. That'd be fun. Robert also says Sunday's game will be tough. Williams for Cleveland has struck out 45 guys in their last 4 games. Yeah, that's the other side. You're going up against the ace of the Cleveland Guardians squad on Sunday with Merrill Kelly as well. Ann says, Autumn texted me separately. I won't read you that one.
Oh.
It's probably yelling at me. I didn't look at it. Probably yelling at me about something. Ann says, if you are the good luck charm, can you get Coach Smith from Desert Ridge on the show so we can enjoy going to football games this year? Yeah, so Desert Ridge is obviously it's where Autumn's daughter does palm at. Ann's son plays football for them this year, starting this year. I believe he's starting this year there and everything. Yeah, go Lovey Smith. Ann, I'll just tell you, no promises, but been talking to them for a while, so I anticipate at some point we'll have Lovey Smith on here. I had to drop Dale's name, ex-NFL player, in there. I haven't told him who the partner is yet.
So the phone got hung up on.
Yeah, click. Yeah. So then I had to go to Lovey Smith's an assistant coach there. His son's running the team out there. Yeah, out there in the East Valley. Hey Dale, when you come over to the house for SummerSlam this weekend, you'll drive right by it.
I'm just trying to picture Desert
Crisman and between Baseline and Guadalupe.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Desert Ridge out in the west.
No, that's not Desert Ridge, is it? It's something else. Yeah, no, it's that one. It's out there. It's that stuff. So, and I'll just tell you that reached out, talked to them when they got hired. Talked to them a few times here as well. So hopefully we'll have them on later. And Lovey Smith's the assistant coach. His son is running that team. I want to be respectful on that because it's not fair to Coach Smith because everybody wants to talk to his dad, and everything. And I'd rather talk to the head coach. Lovey Smith would be a great interview. Don't get me wrong, but his son's running that team and things to that aspect as well. And says DRHS, meaning Desert Ridge, practices from 4:30 to 7 p.m. Oof. By the heat of the day there as well. Yeah, and says her son is a freshman. And I did get your the pad. We bought the those little pogo passes or whatever they are from them to support Desert Ridge this year. But one thing I wanted to bring up as we go into the weekend, I know we're in overtime here and everything, is did you see Kurt Signiti yesterday and Big Ten Media Day? Basically he's like, we're not talking about the championship. I turned the page the next day. Doesn't that seem like he just woke up after winning the championship and was like, all right, what's up next? I didn't even think about it. But then he said specifically when he was asked about the comparison between the Big Ten and the SEC, Kurt Signiti, who I love as a human being, said, quote, we don't cry a river, whine and complain, unquote. Sums up my thoughts of the SEC exactly. And then the last thing I want to say, Shohei Ohtani's card sells for a record $11 million. Dale, where are you going to store that card at that you bought of Shohei Ohtani in your house?
That is one thing I've never, ever, ever understood.
For $11 million?
Even for $11.
What I think we just learned is ESPN might not have a say or might not pay who their play-by-play guys are for Major League Baseball. I tuned into ESPN baseball Wednesday night baseball. Carl Roberts is calling the game. He just got laid off. He's there calling the game. The Athletic did a story today as well that I saw because I was looking into it. And Carl Roberts is going to continue to call Major League Baseball and Little League World Series moving forward as well after being laid off at ESPN. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is very weird.
Yeah, if you got laid off by somebody and they're like, but we want you to still work, what do you do?
Well, he's been there 25, 30 years, hasn't he?
96, I want to say.
I mean, come on. Hey, everybody has their shelf life.
Oh, it was Thursday. It was last night's game is where I saw him on there. Yeah.
So finish the season and then move on. Go retire. Enjoy life like Steve does.
That kind of tells me that maybe, well, that's the other side. Don't forget, ESPN's losing Sunday Night Baseball broadcasts and stuff after this year, so they don't need that position, right? So they said he was dismissed, but what I wonder is if Major League Baseball was like, well, we'll pay for him to continue our games, for the rest of the year, because a lot of times, if you don't know, the league has a say in who calls the games and stuff to that effect. Right, Dale?
I've
The
never
big
been
ones.
that high up. So
The big ones.
yeah.
Yeah, but you've been on the other side of it. Appreciate everybody joining us here on this Friday. We'll be back Monday morning, 7 a.m. Stay cool out there, folks. It is ridiculous. The humidity's picked up in here as well. Woo!
Steve, don't focus too much on that guy throwing curses tomorrow.
Dalehausen. I forgot to call you Dalehausen today. Dale, you know what I do when he tries to curse me? I go,
Just don't look at the TVs.
I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. Throw that out there as well. Dale, sorry you're not going to come over for the festivities. It's going to be a blast.
See you on Monday.
You still have time to get your meats and cheeses orders in.
Oh, I'm bringing my own?
No, I'll place the order for you. I just want to know what fancy meats and cheeses you want. Dale's all American. I got cheeses and meats that I've never even heard of. I'm like, just throw them on there. Just throw them on there.
Enough.
Then I went, how much was the bill? See you Monday, everybody.